Yes, guys, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. Arsenal take on Manchester United this weekend in one of the best clashes in history. Because for me, listen, I think Arsenal Manchester United is the greatest game ever in history. That is the game I'm always waiting for every single campaign. But this time, we take them on in the penultimate weekend. We take them on in a weekend where it means more. In a weekend where the fixture means a do or die. In a weekend where Arsenal have to win. That is the significance and that is the magnitude of this game. It's at the Old Trafford. Arsenal have only won once. That was in 2020-21 at the Old Trafford. In our last, 15 games at the Old Trafford, 16 games, Arsenal have only won once, and we need to go and do it again. Obviously, on Saturday, Fulham will be taking on Manchester City, and that means that by the time we play Man United, we will know our fate. We will know whether that game means we go on top of Man City for quite some time, or we wait until they play Tottenham Hotspur. But either way, this coming week is a very big one for Man City. They travel to London for 2 games. That is Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham. We might get a result out of there. But before we do, we have to get a result of our own. So the big question, can Arsenal do the unthinkable? Can Arsenal go there and embarrass Manchester United? Someone has told me in the comment box below that it's not an easy game. And I've never taken Manchester United lightly ever since Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson's days. I mean, they have a ground that we don't win at. They have a reputation against Arsenal, and they hold the record for most Premier League wins as well. So they're still a much bigger side. But when it comes to this weekend, and the way I looked at them play against Crystal Palace, I am very confident. I'm surely very confident. Be it the injuries they have, be it the form in which they are, be it the fact that their manager doesn't even know whether if he loses over the weekend, he continues as manager. I am very confident against Manchester United. Are you as confident as I am in this game? Let me know in the comment box below. And of course, good evening to you from the Inconsistent Joke, who's, by the way, again, live at 9 p.m. Abraham says, Cossy, lots of love from Uganda. Big up to you, Abraham. Good morning. Baba says, boom. Big up to you, Baba. I have a show with Baba. I will be letting you know, guys, very soon. Michael says, good evening, bro. Please don't forget the jersey. Thank you for all the hard work you have been putting in, bro. And bringing all the letters to us. We are grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful comment there. Cheston says, evening, Cossy. Thank you for the updates you are giving us. Love you from Zambia. Love you too. Oliver says, Mr. Cossy, good evening. A lot of love from Bukoma and Simbi. We love you and so much. And people don't believe that playing Man U is an easy game. Okay. And Baba says, good evening. Greetings from Kenya. Big up to you, Baba, in the chat. David says, we are here. Israel says, good evening, Cossy. Baba says, even on their worst, they get points against us. So we have to go there and perform. Wari says, well done, bro. John says, it's a must-win game for Arsenal. And Anu says, good evening. Good evening to you guys. Hope you're actually doing well. Now, Manchester United are in utter and absolute reigns and disarray. And I've got to say this. Arsenal must go there to prove a point. And the point we are going to prove is not that we can beat Manchester United at the Old Trafford. I think we've already gone to difficult stadiums this campaign and picked up results when it mattered, right? I think the only game that I would blame Mikel Arteta for, a game that we needed to pick up points and we didn't, I think that would be the Anfield. That would be the game. And of course, Liverpool were in form by then. They were still a stronger side. But I thought Arsenal would have gone there and we could have gone there and picked up points. But Manchester United, when you look at that Crystal Palace game, I was lost for words while I was watching that game. I didn't understand whether I was watching Manchester United being battered or I was watching Crystal Palace being battered, because it was a no-brainer that Manchester United, it's a no-brainer that Man United are bigger than Crystal Palace. But that game exposed Manchester United. Now, if we start off with the injuries, you will feel a little bit, I think, sympathetic for them. They've got a couple of injuries. I think all their centre back line is injured, including Harry Maguire, who has been a top performer for them this season. So Lisandro Martinez could be back, right? Could be back, for this game, but it could also be coming a little bit early. So we expect to see Evans and Casemiro at centre back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dallo playing at full back positions, and then in midfield, Kobbie Mainoo. I think Bruno Fernandes will be making his return to the midfield as well, and maybe Eriksen or Amrabat or potentially Scott McTominay. Up top, Marcus Rashford, who has been one of the worst players this season, Anthony, who is clearly one of the worst attackers this season, and Rasmus Hojlund, who Manchester United fans always find a reason to defend. But in my opinion, I don't think he's a bad striker. I think he's a young prospect, a very good prospect. But this season, again, just like any other Manchester United player, apart from Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho, he has underperformed, right? So maybe Garnacho is going to be the problem for us, and maybe Kobbie Mainoo, because those were the two players, and maybe Bruno. Those are the three players that Manchester United have at the moment. So when you look at that Crystal Palace game, it is what informed my my title on the thumbnail. It's also what informed my title. Arsenal must go there and embarrass Manchester United. We are going to go there and we are going to do things to them, right? I don't think they need to wait for Man City to do things to them. This Arsenal side are going to do things to Manchester United, and they will not love it. Listen, I know they have a good record there. I know they have been absolutely very, very fantastic when it came to Arsenal. But I think for me, that chapter is over. I think this Arsenal side has already shown people that wherever we are and wherever we go, we are capable. Like, we've gone to the Etihad and we have picked up a 0-0 draw. A 0-0 draw, by the way, that came from the fact that Arsenal comfortably sat in shape and let Manchester City come onto us. Yes, it was nervy. I was a little bit scared because, yeah, they're Manchester City. I honestly, they're Manchester City. So if you want to beat them, you've got to work for it. And we did work for it, right? We've beaten them this season. We have drawn with them, and we have also won a title against them. We've won the Community Shield against them. Liverpool have not beaten us this season. At the Anfield, 1-1. And then, at the Emirates, they lost 3-1. So I think the Old Trafford as an atmosphere this season is a less threatening atmosphere as compared to Liverpool away, as compared to Tottenham away, as compared to Manchester City away, because we know the quality City have, right? We know what City can do. We know what this team is capable of. They never get significant injuries, and when they do, they have enough cover and enough squad depth to actually find a way. They always find a way. So if Arsenal have gone to Man City and picked up a point decently, and we have gone to the White Hart Lane, again, a stadium where rival fans feel, well, Arsenal shouldn't be winning here. Tottenham fans feel, if Arsenal come here, we are ending their title running. And within 30 minutes, this team is 3 goals up, and Tottenham have lost the game already. Obviously, they come back in the second half, and I blame Mikel Arteta for that, because for me, I don't see how. I don't blame Mikel. I'm sorry. I blame the players for that, because I don't see how you drop in mentality from the first half to the second half. Within a space of 15 minutes. That was a very poor performance from the second half. But still, Arsenal won the game away from home. So this team is different. When we need to deliver, we actually deliver. And I think that's the problem that teams like Manchester United and Tottenham are getting, and Chelsea, because Chelsea found us at a moment where we needed to deliver, and we absolutely did things to them. Now, for me, I'm confident, and I'm not, you know my predictions. I always sit on the fence. I said 3-2 against Bournemouth. We won that game 3-0. So you know me that I'm always a little bit cautious. I'm not going to be cautious this time. I don't want to be on the fence. I'm not sitting on the fence. I am going out there, and I'm saying this is a game where Arsenal will beat Manchester United, I think 4-0. I've got to say it. I think we beat Manchester United 4-0, comfortable victory, and we move on to the last weekend where we take on Everton. And this is why I think Arsenal beat Manchester United 5-0. So, apart from the mentality from the team, which is actually top notch these days, I'm also looking at how Arsenal dissembled Chelsea. And I think with Chelsea, they thought they had a chance. Arsenal had played a couple of games. We had played actually many games, and maybe that gave Chelsea the feeling of this Arsenal can be stopped. They played many games, and they must have some tired legs there. And Mikel Arteta is not rotating so much. So you think about Odegaard had played so many minutes, Saka had played so many minutes, as well. In midfield, Kai Havertz as well up top had played so many minutes. Rice has played so many minutes as well. And maybe Chelsea thought this is the moment where we ruin the party. This is the moment where we spoil it for Arsenal. It was embarrassing for Chelsea. We absolutely embarrassed them. And I don't have any reasons to believe, I'm sorry, I don't have any reasons to believe that this Arsenal side are going to have any sympathy for Manchester United. I don't have any reason to believe that for any reason whatsoever, Arsenal are going to crumble against Manchester United. Like, tell me, Kobe Mainu, Casemiro, we're gonna do a combined 11. But you look at that team, it is not there. I even want us to go ahead and get that revenge of the 8-2. I really want us to go and get that revenge of the 8-2. I don't think we'll beat them 8 goals, but Liverpool did do them 7 last season, 7-0. I would be happy if Arsenal ever beat Manchester United 5-0. I will be over the moon if Arsenal ever beat Man United 5-0, because that will be the day I don't sleep. That will be the day I don't do anything apart from just being on this channel, sitting there and recording videos for whatever reason, whatever content I'll be shooting. I just be on this channel talking to you guys because I'm tired of Manchester United fans every single season. When they wake up, when the fixtures are out, right? The first thing they first talk about is, oh, we beat Arsenal. We beat Arsenal 8-2. I'm tired of that. I'm really tired of that. I pray that Arsenal could find an answer to that. I beg, please, in this game, don't do anything else. Just don't do anything else. Go there, find an answer to that 8-2, because it hurts me even until now. It really, really hurts me that we lost 8-2 to Man United. It really hurts me. And that is a season where Arsenal adamantly had failed to go to the market. And we had failed to get in the centre back. We had failed to work on our midfield. And it was just a shambles. And when Manchester United hit us 8, yeah, we found an answer. We went to the market. Mikel Arteta came in. Pamet Saka came in. I think there was who else did we bring in that? Yossi Benayoun as well. Came in. I understand, but 8-2, that is still hurting. That is still a bad result. So this weekend, I want us to go there and I want us to do things to them. I want us to embarrass them. I want us to put them in a spliff. I want us to cause emotional damage. I want us to damage this Manchester United side. If they're going to sack Eric Ten Hag, let it be because Arsenal have caused it. I would love to see them change a manager because of Arsenal. I would love to see them hold their heads in their hands facing down because of this Arsenal side. And we are capable. We know that this Arsenal side can embarrass you. West Ham will tell you, Sheffield will tell you, and Chelsea will tell you as well that if you give Arsenal space, if you give Arsenal time, if you give Arsenal a chance, they will put five past you. And of course, we're not that clinical. Honestly, we're not that clinical. If Kai Havertz was clinical, it is 7 against Chelsea. If Saka is clinical, it is 7 against Chelsea. If we were clinical with our chances against Chelsea, that game ends 8. It's the truth. That game ends 8, and it hurt me because Chelsea hit us 6-0 under Jose Mourinho on Arsene Wenger's 1000th game. That hurt me. That really, really hurt me. That is one of the performances that have gone down to my heart straight as a dagger. It absolutely pains me, that Chelsea defeat. 6 goals to nil. It really, really pains me. And I thought this was our chance for us to hit Chelsea 6 goals to nil, and we have a response. Obviously, Chelsea fans, they will talk about that 6-0, but we'll be talking about that 5-0. They suffered their greatest defeat at the hands of Arsenal in a very long time, probably in 30, 50 years. So Chelsea is done. Absolutely done. They're out of the way. When they talk about their 6-0 defeat, we will talk about the 5-0 defeat. But Manchester United, 8 goals to nil. That it's a disgrace. It is a disgrace, and I want that disgrace to be answered and to be paid off today. It's a debt, by the way. It's a debt. When your fans pay tickets for you to come and watch you, and then you concede 8 goals, that is a debt. A debt you can only repay when you hit back at the same team in a similar fashion. So it might not be 8, but 5 is okay. 6 is okay. 7 is okay. Okay, don't beat them 8. Just beat them 6-0 or 7-0. I would be absolutely glad. I'll have the best night ever in my life, and I'll be the happiest gooner on this planet, continent, and in the galaxy. I'll be the happiest gooner. I need that revenge. Now, let's talk about the problems at Manchester United and why I think Manchester United are really going to have face it difficult in this game. Defensively, I don't think they're the worst side in the Premier League, but they're among the top 3 worst sides right now, in midfield. So Casemiro has been withdrawn from midfield to join the defense, which actually makes their, their midfield a little bit massively weaker, right? So they don't have a number 6. Sofian Amrabat, who would be their number 6, is sitting on the bench. Christian Eriksen, who's their number 8, a little bit of a playmaker from deep, is washed. He is done. That is one of the quickest transformations you can get from a player. And of course, he's getting older. He is older, actually. So you can understand why. And maybe why Manchester United didn't go for a midfielder in January or even in the summer, they'll have to answer that. So a midfield of Mainu, Amrabat, Bruno, and Eriksen, or potentially Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, and Eriksen, or Mount, that midfield has nothing on the Arsenal lineup. Even if Mikel Arteta decided to drop Declan Rice and play Partey and Jorginho and Odegaard, that midfield doesn't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance against Arsenal in midfield. The midfield I want to see against Man United. I want to see Partey, I want to see Rice, and I want to see Odegaard. Declan Rice alone can sustain the Manchester United midfield. He can deal with that Manchester United midfield. But I don't want him alone. I want him alongside Thomas Partey. I want total domination. We are going to dominate Man United. We are going to make them feel small. They are really, really, really small right now, but we are going to make them really, really feel small. And that is what I want. I want to see the 30 minutes we played against Bournemouth, because Andoni Iraola was talking about the performance after the game, and he said those first 30 minutes, they were absolutely, from a different planet. Arsenal played like a team from a different planet. And I think one of the commentators said it on TNT Sport, that Arsenal won the game and they affected the game in the first 30 minutes of the game where they didn't score. The moment Arsenal played those 30 minutes and the way we played, it sent a message to Bournemouth that this is not your game. Guys, just quit it. This is not your game. And in the end, Bournemouth quit it. They said, listen, if this is Arsenal, if this is what we are playing, if this is what we are playing against, we are not ready, right? We are absolutely not ready. So that's what I want us to do to Manchester United. I want a super performance. I want a superpower. I want an Arsenal team that is going to dominate these guys. I want Kobe Mainu to disappear, right? I mean, they've been posting about preseason. You remember? Mainu in preseason, bowling Declan Rice, bowling Thomas Partey. Kobe Mainu owns Rice. Kobe Mainu owns Thomas Partey. I want all that nonsense to end in this weekend. and it's going to end in this weekend. I want us to I want us to make them disappear. So in terms of the midfield, I'm sorry, they don't stand a chance. Manchester United don't stand a chance against Arsenal in midfield. They don't stand a chance unless otherwise they don't stand a chance, right? Unless they're going to pull off one of the greatest mojos, one of the greatest comebacks, one of the greatest, I don't know. They don't stand a chance against us in the midfield. In the Premier League, the only team that I would say is closer to Arsenal in terms of the midfield three and their quality, only Man City. Only Man City. Because I look at Villa and I'm like, you have your Douglas Luiz. Is he at the level of Declan Rice? No. Level of Thomas Partey? No. You have your Joe McGinn. I cannot even compare Joe McGinn to anyone at Arsenal because for me, he's captain fantastic maybe, and he's an energetic, athletic player, but his quality, I wouldn't take him at Arsenal. They have Yuri Tillemans, who obviously Arsenal decided against signing, and then they've got who else is in that midfield? Who else is in that midfield? Rogers at times plays well, at times he doesn't play well, and then I think Ramsey as well. At times who at times plays well, at times doesn't play well. So the only midfield Arsenal compare with, and the only midfield we can compare to, is the Man City midfield. So Manchester United, if you cannot take on a midfield of Hughes at Crystal Palace, Eberechi Eze, and who else? Who else was in that midfield? Was it is it Dokore? Was it Dokore in that midfield? I think it was Dokore. Was it Dokore? Dokore. I think it was Dokore. So if you cannot take on that midfield, if you cannot take on a midfield of a team that is in the bottom half of the Premier League, you don't stand a chance against Arsenal. I'm sorry to be the one to announce this to them. Man United don't stand a chance in this game. They don't stand a chance. I'm even going to make this prediction. Right. In that game, within the first 10 minutes, Arsenal will have a goal. We'll be one up within the first 10 minutes. That is how confident I am against Man United. I'm not even anywhere near considerate about Manchester United. Baba Prophet says Maino will disappear. He will have nothing to say in that game. I mean, listen, Maino is a cool kid, but for me in that game, I'm not listening to ABCD is a cool kid. Therefore, we need to consider them. Just erase them out. Just erase them out of the way. Okay, let's see what you people are saying in the chat as well as we continue with our our chat as well. Baba says Martinez and Rashford are fit. Marcus Rashford doesn't really impact this game. I know he scores against Arsenal, so maybe 7-1 or 5-1 or 4-1, right? He does score against Arsenal, but that is all I can say. I don't think it really impacts this game. The one player that impacts this game is Lisandro Martinez. But we have seen that Lisandro Martinez coming back from injury, he's not been the player that he has been ever since signing for Manchester United. And of course, when they conceded 7 against Liverpool last season, he was in that team. So still, it's a big update for them, but I think we'll do things to them as well. Amos says, to be honest, I don't see Man United surviving this one. Under Alex Chairman Ferguson, they used to survive games. Like we used to come, dominate, play well, and Manchester United win the game 2-1, and Manchester United win the game 2-0. If they win this game, I give up. If they win this game, if they get a draw in this game, even if we win 2-0, I give up. I'm like, okay, this stadium is not our ground. This stadium is not a happy hunting ground for Arsenal. For me, a minimum of 4 goals, a maximum of 10. Honestly, a maximum. Just go there and do what we have been doing, right? We just need to go there and do what we have been doing consistently. And I tell you, we will actually deliver. No questions. We will deliver. Okay, let's see. Pius says, well done. John says, we must win this game. Anu says, good evening. Sam says, good evening, Cossy. May I know Arsenal injuries? In terms of Arsenal injuries, the last time Mikel Arteta talked to us with the media, He said he had a full squad fit. Now, there's been something in the media about Takeru Tomiyasu, but I can confirm that Takeru Tomiyasu is available and he is injury free. So, in terms of Arsenal injuries, we are okay. It's a full house. Timber is there. Um, Tomiyasu is there. Those are the two injuries that have been a little bit, kind of bugging Arsenal. Jorginho's not played in the in recent games, and I want to. I mean, we've just announced his contract today. I would love to know whether that's the reason why he's not featured in games or any other reason. But in terms of injuries, Arsenal is okay. We are absolutely okay, and that is why I think this game is even more interesting. Honestly. Okay, let's see. Okello says, I pray we win. Manu has been our headache always, always when we play them. Aaron says, it will not be an easy game because I remember 2016 when we had a chance of winning the Premier League, but United stopped us from doing so. I mean, the history of this game and the rivalry will show up. They don't want Arsenal to win it. They don't want Arsenal to win it. Like Manchester United Arsenal has been a big rivalry. They don't want Arsenal to win it. No problem, no question there. Baba the Pandit says, Okello, we must avoid being overconfident. We play our game and win. Okay, Bamedi says we must beat Manchester United. Let them panic and score more goals in the first half. Sharif says, Sharif from Barara, Arsenal injuries, nothing much in terms of injuries. But of course, Mikelata will give us an update tomorrow when it comes to how the squad looks like. Mr. Cossy, on that, Mr. Cossy, believe me on that, the two trips, Manchester City to London, they will drop points. That is, for me, I don't know. Let me know in the comment box below, right? Do you think Man City will drop points to Fulham? Are more likely to drop points to Fulham, or are they more likely to drop points to Tottenham? I want to know. I want to know what you think. Is Fulham the harder fixture, or Tottenham the harder fixture? Because I think with Tottenham, Man City will come knowing that this is the game everyone expects us to drop points. This is the game that is going to do us calamity. But then also, Tottenham have been on a losing streak of 4 games in a row. They might just turn up. I'm not saying they want to do it for Arsenal. I'm not saying Tottenham fans want Arsenal to win the title. I'm saying the team under Ange Postecoglou, they have hit a new low. 4 L's in a row. I think this is when they turn up, right? I think that is when they turn up. I think that's when Mickey van der Ven becomes a real Mickey van der Ven. I think that's when Vicario does his, crazy saves. And I think that is when Son sprints half the pitch and puts it in the back of the net. But City will come knowing that, and they'll come to stop that. The Fulham game is tricky when you think about it in our Arsenal perspective, because Fulham can be beaten by Man City without Man City getting from first gear. With Manchester City in second gear or third gear, they can beat Fulham. We're talking about a Fulham side that has been, crippled by Liverpool, right? They were absolutely crippled by Liverpool. A Liverpool side, by the way, that lost to Crystal Palace, Everton, and drew a couple of games that ran there. They were beaten. They beat Fulham as if Fulham don't even matter. So it's at the Craven Cottage. It's at home. It's an early kickoff as well. They've got their emotional, impact as games. Manchester City play fast. There will be some bit of, pressure there, especially before they get the first goal. That if we don't win this game and Arsenal go ahead to beat Manchester United, they just need to beat Everton. So mixed reactions about the game, right? But and about the trips to London by Man City, but I still see them as real title favorites. Bob the Pandit says, I would be over the moon if we beat Manchester United 5 or 6 now. I would run crazy. I would really, really run crazy. And of course, you're saying that I have Manchester United fans here on my neck already. Bomber says, hi, bro. Thanks for the updates. I think it will not be easy to win, but finally Arsenal will win it by 2 goals to 0 or 1-0 at full time. At half time, it will be 0-0. Isaac, big up to you, Isaac, in the chat. Bamedi says, why can't we beat them 10-0? Attack them throughout the game. There is no team there. There's no team in Manchester United. Obviously, you're not going to beat them 10-0, right? They'll have their respect. And I think against Crystal Palace, why Crystal Palace really beat them 4 goals to 0 is this mentality of it's Crystal Palace, right? When you look at how they played that game, they played Crystal Palace as equals. They never played Crystal Palace in a way that a team knows this is a much better team than us, right? So they gave spaces to Crystal Palace. They treated them as equals. When they take on Arsenal, their job is going to be sitting in the fence, sitting in that defense. They'll try to sit in shape. They'll try to make it compact, and they'll try not to concede the first goal because they know the moment they concede the first goal, it's game over. It's either they open up and they concede more as they try to find an equalizer, or they sit back and accept to lose the game without a fight, which for Man United against Arsenal, it's not going to happen. Man United are not going to sit back and wait for Arsenal to, push them and, kill them without Manchester United having a fight. That is not something that ever happens. No, at least not at the Old Trafford. So I understand there's no team there, but 10 is not happening. Baba Prophet says, can't wait for 4 to 7 goals. And he says, you're also saying that they don't stand a chance. We will dominate them. I will dominate them in that game. I just want to get as many comments as I can for you guys because this is a really, really a big game for you, and many of you are already in the chat. Okay. So Baba says we will dominate from the word go. They're already small. The pundit says you can't say that again. You can say that again. Rice alone can dominate Manchester United. I mean, there was a time when they had Paul Pogba, right? Remember, they had Paul Pogba and Thomas Partey alone did them. There was a time when they had Paul Pogba and Thomas Partey alone. In his first season, Partey did them things. Partey did things to Man United, right? So I still want to see those things being done to Manchester United. But this time, it's going to be Declan Rice. Baba Prophet says, check them as they come from the tunnel. I will tell with their body language. Okay. Isaac says, hello, Mr. Cossy. I think this is the appointed time to defy every negative perception, to go on and disunite Man United on their own ground. Isaac Inigana. I love that. Disunite Man United. Disunite United. Wow. That's a very wonderful phrase. Pandit says, hello, Isaac. And he says, Mino will disappear. He will have nothing to say. Okay. Morgan says, these guys are really finished. I want us to go full packed with energy. Bro, it's our own time. With Partey, Deckers, and Odegaard, they are done. Emma says, Manchester United, we are coming. Baba says, Palace had a mid of Mitchell and and Hughes. Yeah, I think they didn't have the core there. Waisu says Man United 0, Arsenal 4. Emma says Arsenal is going to demolish Manchester United. City says if Arsenal doesn't score 5+, I feel like it will be a disappointment. I will be disappointed. With a small win. I don't want comfortable. I want good wins only in that game. We're going to beat Manchester United, says Samson. And who says, Cossy, any scoreline below 3 goals, I won't be happy. I won't be happy as well. Robert says City will drop points to Spurs because they are wounded. Yeah, I mean, I loved the fact that Spurs lost to Liverpool. But what I loved about that game is the way Spurs responded when there were 4 goals down. Look at the 4 goals as the 4 losses, and you look at the 2 goals as the fighting back spirit from these players. The advantage with Spurs is that they have a new manager, a manager with a clear plan, and a manager with the full support of the board and the players. Those players are playing for that manager. Those players are dying for this manager. I'm really disheartened that Tottenham are no longer in the title race, because not title race, but top 4 race. That would have done wonders. That would have done us a couple of good things, right? They're 7 points behind Aston Villa. Mathematically, they can still get there. Realistically, they cannot get there. But this is the advantage Arsenal could get, right? Aston Villa this weekend, they actually have a game in hand. Not a game in hand, but they have a game today against Olympiacos. So they take on Liverpool on Monday. That's a very, 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 that's a very good fixture. Aston Villa take on Liverpool on Monday. That means that Tottenham will have already played Burnley on Saturday. And the gap between Aston Villa and Tottenham will be 4 points, right? If Villa don't win against Liverpool, if Villa lose that game against Liverpool, the game in hand that Tottenham Hotspur have, will come in. That will be Manchester. That will be Manchester City. So if Tottenham dare beat Man City, they know if they beat Man City, they know if they beat Man City, they wait for the final game of the campaign. They wait for the final day of the campaign to decide and to find out whether they are actually going to go to the Champions League or not. And these are Aston Villa's last two games. They have Liverpool and they have Crystal Palace. So it is possible. It is very, very, very possible for Tottenham Hotspur to go into, the UEFA Champions League. But like I said, they have to first beat Man City and they have to first beat Burnley. So I'm sorry, I've got to look out for Tottenham as they play Burnley. We know they are poor, but if they can win that game and then Villa do not win, there is a big chance. There is a big chance that it goes down to the wire. Aston Villa, we know that they have always spoiled the party on the final day. They don't win, and Spurs go to the Champions League. And that is the mentality that I want from these Spurs players. If they can have that mentality, then it is where Man City could draw points. But if they think it's gone, then probably it's not where Manchester City are actually going to draw points. Okay. Baba says, guys, Man United also chasing, European football, that number 6 spot. Yeah, you're right. But I don't think Manchester United are really actively forcing for that. I don't think they're actively forcing for that at the moment. Ababa says Spurs with their high line style of play, City will beat them. Yeah, it's what I'm afraid of. They play in a way that is disgusting. They don't care about set pieces, according to their manager. They don't care about the high line. They just play football as if they're not in a competitive league. Then he says, Cossy, City will drop points at Fulham. Anu says, Cossy, I don't believe Spurs will do anything against City. I don't trust them. I'm not even saying I trust them. I don't trust them. Baba says, I see draw against Fulham, Sunday kickoff, so we'll all watch that. Emma says, I pray, Cossy, let the players play the way they've been playing and doing it. No panic. We will if they don't panic in that game. Emma Cisco from Sikio, I think, from Kampala. Big up to the guys from Kampala. Love you guys. Atuganza says, Baba, we are beyond that level of fulfilling United desire by giving them points. If it happens, I will stop watching football for 1 year. Okay, that's a big commitment there, Isaac. Robert. Isaac says, Mr. Cossy, I have a feeling that if it continues on a wire like this, City will drop points on the last day to West Ham, which will be a draw of 2-2. Well, listen, the Everton game means nothing to them. But for Spurs, not for Spurs, but West Ham, they have two reasons for them to care about the last game. And of course, we all know West Ham going to Man City and picking up points, that is not something that's easy. That is not an easy thing. But West Ham, it's difficult, isn't it? It's really, really difficult for them to think for them to think about the number 6 spot or European football, the number 7 spot. It's difficult because when I look at the points, they're 5 points behind Manchester United and they're 5 points behind Chelsea, and they've played one more game than Man United and Chelsea as well, right? So I don't see them get into the Conference League position of 7th. I think it will continue. To be Manchester United, Chelsea, and Newcastle. I think that is where the battle is, right? That's where the battle is, and maybe that's where Newcastle could impact our season. You never know. Okay. William says I would need 7, but we have to respect them being at OT. And Baba says this is not true. This is not a United. We all knew. They are dead. They can't attack or defend. I predict 1-0 Arsenal in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, first 10 minutes, I believe Arsenal will have a goal. City says we are to make Man United scatter, bro. Sharif says Man City losing to Fulham before Spurs. And Jerry says this is didn't get that. City says, Cossy, do you know that Man City has never had a single goal? Yeah, City. Yeah, I know that. City has never scored a single goal against Tottenham at their new stadium. They have never scored a single goal. And that's a big, big reason for us to believe. It's a very big reason for us to believe. Let's look at Manchester United. They don't have the team, but we have to be careful because they're going to do everything to stop us, says Samson Kare. And then Ibrahim says this is a must-win game. Must-win game. Ashavin says, hey, Kosis, Ashavin Maitha from Kenya. I do trust that Arsenal will win the game and will win all the remaining games. So for me, if Arsenal don't win this game, it is self-sabotage. If we don't win this game, self-sabotage. That is the real definition of self-sabotage. If Arsenal don't go out there and win this game by a considerable margin. You know what? The other thing is self-sabotage. If this video doesn't get to 100 likes. So make sure you hit the like button and you smash that like button. Now, I wanted us to talk about the penultimate weekend. And the penultimate weekend basically means that that weekend that weekend before the final weekend. The job description for both Manchester City and Arsenal is very easy. Win your fixtures and then go on the final day and punch out yourselves. Arsenal must go to the Old Trafford and pick up maximum points. Man City must go to Fulham and pick up maximum points. Who has a difficult game? Who has a harder fixture this weekend? I think Arsenal have a harder fixture because of the history between us and Manchester United, but also because of that embarrassing defeat they suffered to Crystal Palace. When I was watching that game, I said, no, don't do it. Don't beat them 4. It was 1, and I said, don't beat them 2. It was 2, and I said, don't beat them 3. It was 3, and I knew they were going to concede 5. Thank God they conceded only 4. But why I never wanted Manchester United to lose that game with a bigger margin is they are going to come back to show respect to their fans. They are going to want to send a message out there to their fans that, hey, we lost 4-0 at the Sellers Park, but we are not this bad. We are not going to shame you. We are not going to give our old-time rivals a chance, right, to win it at the Old Trafford, or a chance to further their pursuit for history and legacy at the Old Trafford. So they're going to fight tooth and nail. For Man City, they don't have an opponent in Fulham. They really do not. So I'm going to read the statistics for you here. Fulham are 13th on the Premier League table. They've drawn 2 of their last 5 games, and they have not won a single game in each of their last 3. They've lost 2 out of their last 5, drawn 2, and won 1. This season alone, they have only scored 51 goals, which is impressive given the fact that they're Fulham, but they have conceded 55. And one thing we know with City is that if you're struggling to score goals, you don't beat Man City. If you're struggling to defend, you don't beat Man City. So, analyzing their last 3 fixtures, they had a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace at home. That was their last game. They beat Fulham. They beat West Ham 2-0, and then they were beaten by Liverpool 3-0, beaten by Newcastle 1-0, and beaten by Nottingham Forest 3-1. They also drew 3-3. Yeah, they also drew 3-3 to Sheffield United. That is where the problem is. If you can concede 3 against Man City, against Sheffield, you concede 3 against Liverpool at your own ground, you will definitely concede more than 3 at Man City. And that is where my scare is, and that's where my problem with is my problem is with this Fulham side. They have the quality, but do they really stand a chance against City? Where they are weak is in defense, and Man City will tear you apart. Where they are weak is in goal scoring, and Man City will block you and they will shut you out. Actually, one of the things that really hurt me is that Arsenal had drawn 2-2 at the Emirates Stadium with Fulham. Joe Palhinha with a late winner, and then Man City beat them. They absolutely disabled them, 5 goals to 1 in the next fixture. That's the reason as to why we're here. So my problem with Fulham is they cannot give you that hope. They can't. They have no reason to fight. I don't see it unless you guys can give me a reason for Fulham to fight. They're 13th, 44 points. They are 2 points behind Wolves, and they are 3 points behind Brighton, and 4 points behind Bournemouth. So could it be that Marcos Silva wants to finish in the top half of the Premier League? Could that be a reason? Maybe. I don't want to sound dismissive. Maybe. But is that reason enough for Fulham to ruin the title party? I don't think it's reason enough. It's something I actually thought that Nottingham Forest had a higher chance of stopping Man City than Fulham and Tottenham had combined. But since they didn't, since Chris Wood decided to miss all the chances, we've got to find a new team we believe in, and it is Fulham. So this penultimate weekend, Arsenal have the harder fixture. But listen to this, and this doesn't make any sense, right? So listen, Arsenal have the easier opponent. We have a harder fixture because with the fixture it comes with emotions, history, rivalries, and all that. But we have the weaker and easier opponent. Because Man United are disintegrated, Man United are discombobulated, Man United are absolutely, I would definitely treat them with absolute disregard at the moment. So you look at their midfield, you look at the attack, you look at their defense. Arsenal have the easier opponent. But the emotions are high, and Arsenal are the younger team. So emotions are more likely to get to Arsenal than Manchester City. And we have seen that against Aston Villa. In terms of quality, right? In terms of quality, and this is where Arsenal have to pray. Fulham are more quality. They're a much more quality side. And therefore, Man City have the harder team in Fulham. I'm not saying that they cannot cut through this Fulham side. I mean, they concede goals. They've conceded a goal in almost every game this season. So I'm not saying Man City are the only team that are not going to find a way. But you look at Muniz, you look at Pereira, you look at Dico Dover-Reid, you look at Iwobi, you look at Joe Palhinha, Calvin Bassey, Issa Diop, Leno, Robinson, Castagna. There is a team there. There is a team with a structure, with a manager, with a system, and with a culture. And that is what Manchester City are going against this weekend. And that is what Arsenal are not going against this campaign. Oh, sorry, this weekend. The opposite is true on the final day. Man City will have the harder fixture because West Ham, they're sending off their manager, a manager who's brought them European glory in a that they've not had for a period of 70 years plus. So the emotions will be there. West Ham will want to prove a point, or probably send off David Moyes as well. They'll want to send him off with respect because he's leaving this summer. So that makes the fixture difficult. But West Ham are a team that are not well coached. Honestly, I'm sorry to David Moyes. I love him as a manager, but I don't think West Ham are well coached. I don't think West Ham have a culture. I don't think West Ham have a structure. I don't think West Ham are anything apart from a group of bonds in a sack. When you look at Everton and Sean Dyche, they don't have anything to play for when they play Arsenal. But what they have is they have a reason to be together because the manager they have has has established a system. The manager has found a consistent starting 11, and the manager has given them a reason to believe in him, and therefore they will fight for him. They'll try to win the game for him. So over the next weekend, the tables flip. But for now, it's Man City with a harder opponent is their fixture. Arsenal with the harder fixture is their opponent. And maybe it's time for us to use that advantage to our side. Um, okay. Well, what are you guys saying? Isaac says 5, Arsenal 5, Man United 2. Okay. Hassan says we are winning against Man United 3-1. City is losing against Fulham. Siko says this is the time our boys to help us. Leno, Willian, Iwobi at least draw with Manchester City. I don't think I don't know. Do professional footballers come onto the pitch thinking that this is the time you help your opponent? No, not opponent, but your former team. Well, maybe not, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know, but maybe. Um, okay, let's see. Baba says West Ham will not be an easy game for Manchester City. It won't be an easy game for Man City. It's a difficult fixture, but it's an easy opponent. Isaac says, hi, Cossy. I trust Arsenal in this game. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet at the Old Trafford, though. Okay. John says, hello, Cossy. For your information, Arsenal beat Man United 8 goals to 2. Check it out, 1952. Seriously? Seriously? Are we doing this? Isaac says, I'm Isaac Mungasa from Bale. It's a very, very hard game because of history. Arsenal will win it 3-1. Baba says, friends of Fulham at the moment. We have Willian, Leno, and Iwobi. So, guys, I'm really, really happy that basically most of us agree with the fact that Arsenal are in a much better position to beat to beat Manchester United, and I hope we actually do. I'm going to be doing previews, and they're going to be coming your way very, very soon. Robert says, hi, Cossy. Good evening. Good evening to you, Robert. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. Hit the like button, please. Let's get the likes up to 100 likes. Please, if you're watching live, hit the like button right now to 100 likes. Love you all. Speak to you soon.